you guys know the average Spirit Scepter mage. Usually have really bad gear and then pull out their max Spirit Scepter. Well, the problem with them is that their main weapon is a Spirit Scepter. And if you haven't used it before, it is not that great for dealing damage. So in this video, I'll be telling you the great secret on playing Spirit Scepter Mage, which allows you to deal good damage and have good clearing capabilities at a really cheap price. So let's get right into it. You may be asking, what is this secret? Well, instead of using a really damage-lacking Spirit Scepter, all you need to do is swap to something like a Livid Dagger. Of course, the Livid Dagger isn't your only option. You have many other options like the One for All, Shadow Fury, etc. But at least make sure you have a Livid Dagger, or else this is not really a good, it's not really a good setup. Now, I actually bought the Livid Dagger just for the video, so please subscribe. But let's see the secret and let's see how good this is. Most Spirit Scepter mages usually have Necromancer Lord, but I don't want to spend that much money, so instead I'll start off with Young Dragon Armor, and I'll show you its true capabilities and difference with the Ancient Storm Armor. So let's get right into it. So of course I'll start off with the 3/4 Young and Wither Goggles. The Wither Goggles will increase my damage by a little bit more, so that's why I'm using them. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm now in a run. I'm gonna equip my Young Dragon Armor, and I'll show you how much damage the Spirit Scepter deals. So real quick, I will swap to a pet like the sheep. So basically I'll only be using the sheep at the start. So as you can see, I'm dealing like 1,000,000 damage. Now this is where you're gonna get surprised. So if I find a mini boss real quick, watch this. See how long that took? No, that's with my left click damage, and of course my left click damage is insane because I'm a high kata. So let's real quick do a demonstration with no right click, or sorry, no left click, only right click. You are actually gonna be surprised. So let's get right into it. I think there's a mini boss here. Okay, and I'm taking a lot of damage. I don't want to die. Okay, watch this. It just fell. I'm about to die. Basically, watch this. That took a lot of time, and as a normal Spirit Scepter mage, you lack damage, you lack left click damage because you're usually not that high of a kata. But now I'll show you the power of the Livid Dagger. So if I real quick, not die. This is, by the way, in Young Dragon Armor, so the test isn't going to be as good as you would expect, but it can way better if you put Ancient on your armor, and that is, you have to trust me, basically. So I'm dealing 8,000,000 damage, but now that's, real quick watch. We need to find a mini-boss. I'm having a lot of trouble finding a mini-boss, and I'm not bothered to clear. So real quick, if I could find a mini-boss without dying, I'm constantly taking a lot of damage. Come on, any mini-bosses? Come on, I just need to find a mini-boss. There are no mini-bosses in this map. This is the worst map I've ever... There we go. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to real quick clear this place out a little bit. Now watch this. How much damage was that? 600k damage. See how insane that was compared to the Spirit Scepter? Like with the Spirit Scepter, it took me like at least like 5 seconds to kill the boss. And with the Livid Dagger, it could take like just 3 seconds. By the way, this is in floor 7, so my damage is actually kind of insane. But you're probably gonna be playing floor 6, floor 5 maybe, and it's still gonna be it's probably gonna be the same damage as me if you're doing that, or it's probably gonna be the same speed as me because floor 5 is less damaging mobs. Or say less HP mobs. So real quick, we'll find one more mini boss to show you how good this is, and then I'll show you with the Ancient Armor, which Ancient Armor is going to be absolutely crazy. Okay, we got a mini boss room here, so I'll look for the mini boss. There's actually 2 mini bosses here, so I can test it out with the Spirit Scepter as well. So I'll clear a little bit, not die. I'm about to die. I think I should maybe not use Young Dragon Armor, but yeah, as you can see, that was pretty fast. But now let's test it out with Spirit Scepter Mage. Now I have to actually look for the boss here. Usually with the Young, I could just one-tap everything, so I'm taking a lot of damage. Luckily, I'm surviving, though. Okay, Shadow Assassin. Let's see with the Spirit Scepter now. Oh yeah, by the way, this is with the Livid Dagger, so if I use, sorry, with the, no, Sheep Pet. I just killed it, but like, that was still pretty long. Even if you don't count the Scylla, that was a really long fight. But as I was saying, I was using a sheep pet. If I could swap that out for like maybe a lion pet, or let's see, a epic griffin pet maybe, and doubtfully an e-drag, maybe a tiger, who knows. But I could be dealing way more damage. Not just with that, if I swap to Ancient Storm. So real quick, I'm going to go to another run, and I'm going to be using a lion pet. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so we're in a run now, with the difference being that I'm using full Ancient Storm with Wither Goggles. So I'll swap to a lion pet, and I will be dealing insane damage now. By the way, as I mentioned in the video before, this is with the Livid Dagger, not even one for all. Especially if you use a Shadow Fury or something like even better than this, you can possibly be doing floor 7 without a Hyperion and still be contributing very heavily. So first I'll look for a room. It's really Hyperion just shreds through everything, so I'm not used to this. But here's a what's it called, boss. So I'll ice spray it. Now watch this. I just 2-tapped it with a Livid Dagger, not even one for all, not even max. A really bad Livid Dagger, and just 2-shotted it. And by the way, if you could get a bit more talismans like me, you could still probably deal half my damage, and even half of mine is still really insane. So real quick, I'll look for one more boss and just show you the capability of this, because that boss was actually, I think, half HP, because it wasn't a real boss. It was just like a side thing. So let me look for a boss real quick. I seem to not be finding one. So real quick, I'll cut the video out. Never mind, didn't even take me that long to find a boss. Now watch this. Did you see that? This is craziness of damage. As I said, this is what's really shitty setup. Full Ancient Storm, which costs like 80 mil, which you could easily substitute with like 3/4 Wise or 2/4 with Necromancer Lord boots and like Shadow Goggles or something, which that probably comes out to like 5 mil. And you could just use this Livid Dagger. This is like a 13 mil setup, excluding the Spirit Sceptre, which that's 25 mil if you include the Spirit Sceptre. So basically, it's the same price of a Juju Archer, and it deals insane damage. Right now, I'm dealing 30 million damage. I'm pretty sure the same much I deal with the Scylla. 50 mil. This is not even that bad. By the way, this is what's first strike, so real quick, we'll check with the Griffin pet. Approximately the same damage. Hold on, I need to check. This guy strafes too much. 16 mil. Yeah, 20, about 20 mil with the Griffin. So yeah, basically, in my opinion, don't main your weapon with the Spirit Sceptre. Instead, just use a Livid Dagger with the Spirit Sceptre. Your clearing will be good and your damage will be good. So let's get into the summary. Now, in my opinion, this is a pretty good setup, really cheap price, and you're gonna still have really good clearing capabilities. In my opinion, you don't really need a one-for-all Shadow Fury, but if you can get it, please make sure to get it. Your damage will be really insane. At most, try to get yourself a giant sword if you're lucky, or if you just have a lot of money lying around. But as I was saying, or as I did say, all you need is basically a Livid Dagger. You could always replace this 80 mil setup with 2/4 Wise Necromancer Lord boots for the EHP. Just maybe reforge the Necromancer Lord boots for on Necrotic, and Shadow Goggles. Maybe put those on Necrotic as well, and just use a Golden Head, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video. See ya.